All right, we are
Right.
live. Here we
Yeah.
are. Give me 1 second. I want to just live stream. I'm going to go on to set up Instagram and go live there. Let's see if this is okay. I think we're live on Instagram too. Okay.
Exciting.
All right. Perfect. All right. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to How This Diva Kicked the Caffeine Addiction in Only 14 Days. So, this is actually my first live on YouTube. I've done live before on Instagram, but this is just going to be a relaxed conversation with Lisa. I'm going to introduce Lisa in a second. Lisa's going to share her experience doing a winter weight loss detox with me. And Lisa, can you just introduce yourself to everybody here?
Sure, of course. My name is Lisa Walbridge, and I live in the Lower Hudson Valley of New York. And I I have a money business, so I do personal finance coaching. And I did Laura's winter weight loss detox back in January, and it like really, really shifted things for me. So
Awesome.
super
Thank
excited
you.
to talk to you about it.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hear all the ins and outs, that your ahas and everything. And so I just want to ask you a question, and just kind of like put it in the open here. Did I pay you to come on here for this interview or anything like that?
Not at all. Nope.
Okay, because sometimes people might think like, oh, whatever. But I just want to
Yeah.
just kind of clear the air. Like this was actually your idea to come
I
on.
I said, Laura, you changed my life and I want to tell everybody about it. So can I talk to you
Yeah,
about this?
thank you. And I do want to commend you because many times when we are dealing with our health and issues with our health, some of them are personal and people don't want to share. So I appreciate you sharing with other people because I know that your story will inspire others to take whatever action that they're feeling called to. So I do appreciate you sharing this because it is important, and having people see a face to results is amazing too. So I'm just gonna I have some questions. I'm just gonna go through
Mhm.
them, and how we'll just kind of go through it, and we'll take
Yeah,
our
sure.
time. And I don't know how long we'll be on, but we'll be on as long
Yeah.
as we're supposed to be on. Um, so before you started the detox, just kind of where were you in your? I'm gonna say just kind of where were you in your health before you even began or even knew about the detox?
Yeah, I before I started the detox, before I even knew about it, I was feeling really, really down about my health. I wasn't feeling great. I have allergies, like environmental allergies that have just like really like crippled me a lot, and some gastro issues and things like that. But just like fighting weight for so many years, ever since I had my daughter, she's 10, and haven't really been able to lose weight for any length of time. And I kind of gone through all the diets and just feeling like really down about not being able to have the willpower, or just it's just I'm not meant to be thin and healthy. And
Mhm.
I kind of went through the intuitive eating phase, which I felt like so called to.
Mhm.
But I what I think I realized around the time that your detox came up was I am not able to intuitively eat because my body is so out of whack. It's
Mm,
not giving me the right signals, and I'm not able
mm,
to resist the signals. So
mm.
so I kind of went into your detox like desperate, but also like not motivated. Like I was, committed to doing the work, but
Mhm.
I was just like kind of exhausted from all of
Mm,
the diets and things I had done in the
right.
past,
So,
failures.
okay, so you did a lot of diets, exhausted from them. You
Yeah.
weren't motivated. You were committed, but not motivated.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah.
So you weren't motivated. So what made you actually even go for it then? If you weren't
I
motivated,
yeah,
like
so
people say
so
they
I
need
think
motivation, and sometimes that comes
yeah.
afterwards. But whatever. Just curious.
Right, and I think before, whenever I had done diets, the motivation was there first,
Mm,
that would carry me through the first part of it, and I think this was kind of the flip, and in a good way. I went into it like, I need to do something because I don't feel good. And what I
Mhm.
liked about the detox, you know, the way that you said it was going to be and the way that it was, is
Mhm.
that it's really like an investigation. Like,
Mm,
you know, getting off of kind of all the stuff for a couple of weeks to just say, like, how does your body feel when you're not eating dairy or you
mhm.
don't have caffeine? And I was like, you know what, I want to just get off of all of it. Just, I can do anything for 2 weeks, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just
Beautiful.
gonna commit myself to this and
Mhm.
see how I feel and see
Right.
if it does anything.
Right.
And I didn't really have any expectation beyond that, just sort of that initial, I want to be curious about
Right.
this.
All right. I love it.
um
Curious, no expectations,
mhm.
and you can do anything for 2 weeks.
Right.
Now, before we go further, I want to ask you like your life. Do you have a
Mhm.
busy life? You work, parents, kids? Like, what is, I just
Yeah.
want people to understand
Yeah.
where you are in terms of like, because another thing people that comes up is a time thing. And
Right.
so like people be like, well, I don't have time to do this detox or whatever. So just share with people what
Mhm.
your life, if if you're okay with that, sharing like,
Sure, of course. I kind of feel like if I can fit it in, anybody can fit it in. So I have a day job. It's part-time, but it's probably like more like three-quarter time. I work every day, 5 days a week. I have a husband and a 10-year-old daughter. And so, you know, I work from home during the day. I'm able to get her off the bus and things like that. But I'm at my desk working all day. So usually, like when it comes to eating and things like that, I eat breakfast when I'm getting her ready for school. I like run down between meetings to just grab something to eat and then go back upstairs. And then I'm usually, you know, off into the kitchen cooking dinner by like 4:30. You know, everybody ready for the evening, that type of thing. And then I'm doing a side business too, so trying to fit that in.
right.
We have a dog, a very energetic dog, so I walk him 5 days a week in the mornings.
Mhm.
So yeah, pretty busy, and then on the
So you're
weekend, you know,
busy.
like most people, right? We're doing chores and everything on the weekends. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay. So you're
but
busy. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
but it was like I can fit in the, you know, you did calls each week, which was great, because it really helped to solidify, okay, what do I need to do the next week? And
Right.
I was, you know, I just talked to my family about it and said, I want to do this, you know, Monday nights. You know, I'm doing this. So, and they
Mm-hmm.
were on board to help me, support me.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you had the support from the family. You carved out your time. This is my time. This is my call nights, and so which
Yeah.
is important. You set that boundary because this is your time, and you focus and you prioritize, and and that's an important piece from my in my opinion when you're committing when you went all in, like you're gonna at the minimum show up for the calls,
Yeah.
not knowing what to expect,
Right.
right? Okay, so when I guess so you shared how you were feeling prior to the detox.
Yeah.
So how did you hear about the detox? So I'm
I
just
think I think you mentioned it to me back when we were at BBD Live. I think in
okay.
November you mentioned you were doing a detox, and that stuck in my head. I was like, even though I was in the midst of all my like sugar addiction and the holidays and all of that, I was like, I never forgot that. I was like, Laura's doing a
Mm,
detox.
okay.
I really need to do something.
Okay. Okay. And so when I shared the information about the detox, um, what were you knew you wanted to do, but what kind of like solidified it, like that you were going to do it? You know what I mean?
It,
Like what was like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm in.
What was it? The fact that I honestly that you were doing it because I completely trust you. You know, we're biz buddies, and you just have so much knowledge that just comes through, so much experience. So I knew I was in good hands, and I think just the fact that it was a 2 week detox,
Mm,
and that it was a detox. It was yes, it was you know, a weight loss detox, but it was like the detox aspect of it is what really sold me, because I
mhm,
think that's what I was feeling more than anything. Like, my body's full of stuff. Like,
mhm.
I need a detox. I
Right,
want to
right,
start fresh.
right,
Like,
right.
that's really what the trigger
Perfect.
was. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And that's, like that is why I do them seasonally, right? Is honestly like just it's a reset, it's an oil change. And so for
Yeah.
someone like you and others who just want that reset, it's a beautiful way because it is only 2 weeks.
Right.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's like and like you said, you could do anything for 2 weeks, which
Hmm.
like anyone could do anything for 2 weeks for yourself. So beautiful. Um, and so you said you had been through other nutrition programs before,
Yeah.
other diets before. Yet this truly wasn't a diet; really, it was more of a
Right.
detox.
Right.
Okay. Um, so take me back to your actual experience going through the detox, going through the
Yep.
calls, and the program itself. Um,
Hmm.
and like, what was your experience in going through it? What you enjoy, like what you look forward to, just kind of the whole
Yeah.
experience of the detox.
I love, love, love the live calls. And I think what I got so much out of the live calls because it was, you provided the content to kind of like under the hood, right? Like what's happening with your body underneath. And I know this detox was with respect to the kidneys, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
was more, so I learned so much about how our kidneys function. And it's not that I hadn't like learned about nutrition or knew about things, but like it was at such a depth that I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't had before that it made me like, oh, like that's why that's happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
not so it became clear the relationship between what I eat and how my body reacts, whereas I hadn't like really connected that before.
Right,
And I
right.
think the other thing on the live calls is with the other people in the group who are going through the detox too, everyone had some tips to offer and support to offer, ideas for snacks, and just like there was a lot of good sharing, which I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then of course there's no way I could have done this detox without all like your recipe guides and like what to do every day, the
Mm-hmm.
dinners, the breakfast. I mean, just like I still have it. I still look at it to pull up like what kind of a smoothie do I want, or
Mm-hmm.
making juice or that type of thing. So I mean, I truly felt like I had the plan in front of me and knew exactly what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was nice to have those check-ins along the way, those
Perfect.
weekly
And that was my
communities.
question for you. You were clear on what you needed to do. You weren't truly confused. If there was confusion, there was, support there
Yeah.
for you if you were
Yep.
confused.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so perfect. And the community is important. I think communities are
Yeah.
amazing. I love the community piece for any program. Even if someone isn't even an active participant, there's still so much going on that you glean. So,
Right.
and I do have to brag. My communities, I love my communities. I love my women, and they really are great. They're supportive. So, I'm so happy that you found that as well. Like I see it,
Mhm.
I know I'm in it, but if it's your
Right.
first time in it, like your experience
Yeah.
could be totally different. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a super, it just feels like people, there's like no judgment, very supportive, just
Mm.
a nice community.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So you were sharing about how you felt before, and I know one of your just share some of the aha things that happened, and some of the things that the results that you experienced that you totally didn't expect at all,
Yeah.
um, as a result of going through this program. Just curious, like what yeah, just
Yeah.
share like your results and.
I just like I gave it all up, right? I mean, it's a detox, right? So no alcohol, no dairy, no caffeine, no sugar, no gluten. Did I miss anything? And going into that, I was like, I can do anything for 2 weeks, but I was scared. And I think I
Yeah.
messaged you after 3 days, and I was like, Laura, I want to stick my face in a bowl of ice cream right
Yes,
now.
she
Like
did.
that's how I felt. And you gave me some tips. It was great. And I just plowed through it, but what I did not expect, now, number one, I gave up caffeine, and I've given up
Hmm.
caffeine before, and it's not easy and it's not pretty, right? But I
Hmm.
did not get any headaches this time. I didn't get any headaches. And within the first few days of not having caffeine, I
Mhm.
think for anything, it was more of the habit of having the coffee in the
Yes.
morning that I missed in the, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like not have like, oh, like I'm so used to just having my coffee in the morning. Not even necessarily that I needed it, but the afternoon is when I always needed the coffee because I was
Right.
so sleepy.
Mhm.
And after the first few days, like I had more energy in the
Mhm.
afternoon
Mhm.
without any coffee
Yeah.
than I ever had with coffee. And I
Yeah.
was really shocked at that, like really
Yeah.
shocked. I did
Yeah.
not expect that. I
Yeah.
expected I was going to really drag.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was like a really big aha moment for
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
But I had so many other aha moments.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I just,
Share, just share, because
yeah,
like,
like,
it's short,
I,
it's 15 days, and
yeah.
for you to experience that, I
Hmm.
just want people to know what is so doable. Like, just,
Yeah.
like, this is
I just,
doable.
yeah. I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. I've had so many tries at, being healthier and like, and just feeling like a failure. And I feel like this time around, just like it really, really clicked. And I think I went into it with, okay, I can do anything for 2 weeks. And being off of all of those things, I felt so good. And I couldn't believe how quickly I started feeling good. Like I was taking, okay, I have environmental allergies, as I had said. And the previous summer, I had sort of unofficially been diagnosed with asthma. And I was taking, like, I've been taking so many medications for allergies and doing allergy shots and things like that. And I would be up almost every night in the middle of the night, wake up coughing, go sit out in the living room till everything kind of calms down, and then go back to bed. Like always broken sleep. And I take Zyrtec every night and, all the nasal sprays and stuff like that. And after, I would say, probably a week of doing the detox, I don't take I only started taking Zyrtec occasionally again just because like the trees are starting to bloom. All through the winter, no Zyrtec needed. Couldn't even
Mhm.
have I sleep through the night. I don't
Mhm.
wake up in the middle of the night coughing anymore. Like that's huge for me, life changing. What I discovered in the detox is that dairy does that to me.
Mhm.
Dairy creates this trigger that just exacerbates my allergies. And so I don't, I mean, I think what happened was going into the detox, thinking, okay, I can do anything. I'm going to learn from this. What I learned motivated me. What I
Yeah.
learned motivated me to keep doing it. Like I was inspired. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night coughing every night. So I'm not going
Mhm.
to drink milk because milk is making me do that. Instead
Mhm.
of from the point of view of, oh, I'm going to lose a few pounds if I don't drink milk. Like that's the way that I would think it in the past. Like I know I'm getting a health benefit out of not drinking milk because that's
Right.
how I react to it personally. So that's been the motivator. So I was a huge dairy person. I was
Yeah.
like, how could anyone not have dairy? Like I love dairy. Now that I've been, off dairy for a few months, like I do have cheese.
Mhm.
Cheese doesn't impact my allergies. It does not
Mhm.
appear. So, but I've been able to get those cues because I was able to start with a clean slate. And then
Right.
as I added things back in, able to say, okay, how is that affecting me?
Right.
Is that affecting me negatively or is it okay? And so
Right.
that's taught me what are the things to stay away from and what are the things
Mhm.
to eat.
Mhm.
Whereas before I started the detox, I had no idea. I was just
Right.
like full of all kinds of stuff.
Right, right. And I love your awareness of that. And that's really important part that I love for people to realize on their own, like that they're choosing not to have certain foods because of how it makes them feel.
Hmm.
Because you feel so much better without it. Not because it's bad or you feel, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's a very different. You
Yeah.
came to that like on your own. Like I don't want to have this anymore because I like sleeping and
Right.
I don't want my allergy, but you know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yes.
that's beautiful that you came to that. And that's important, right? Because it's a different outlook. It's a
It's
different way of approaching
it's a different
food.
approach. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think from the caffeine perspective, the same type of thing happened. So one of the things that, like so before the detox, I was, like two lattes or coffees a day.
Mhm.
And I also during COVID became an amateur mixologist. And so I made a lot of cocktails at home. I love making cocktails. Like I love margaritas. I love sidecars, all that stuff. And what was happening was I had already kind of had some gastric issues and I was taking omeprazole. I was taking a low dose of it, but I was still having like some side effects to that and not feeling great. And so when I went into the detox and gave that stuff up and was like, oh my gosh, I feel really good. Like I don't have acid reflux. I was like, I want to get off of my omeprazole. I don't want to be on it anymore. And so when, I had just conveniently had a follow-up with my gastroenterologist during the detox. And I said, I'd like to go off of it. And he says, okay, let's give it a try. And so that was the motivator for me to stay off of caffeine and alcohol, because that was what allowed me to feel better and stay off of medication.
I love that.
So, and I think the way that I'm looking at it now is, not that I'm teaching myself to, and I think you're helping me, Laura, to look at it from the perspective of not to be so militant and have to be perfect. But to realize that like we went to Myrtle Beach on vacation. Like I did have cocktails while I was there, but now I'm home and I'm not drinking cocktails because I know it's not good for me overall. But I want to have fun. Like I'm gonna, if I'm gonna go to South Carolina, I want pina colada.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't need pina coladas all the time.
Right.
And the coffee, because I've just been off the caffeine, I just don't even need caffeine.
And so you were successful to get off that medication?
Yeah, so I've been off my medication since after week 2 of the detox.
Okay. Yeah. So that's amazing. And I'm just sharing, that's not what I don't do that. Like you do that with your doctor if you're on medications. Yeah. However, that is the power of food. Right. That is the power of food and being in tune with it. And that's brava, right? Yeah. Like you gave yourself that opportunity. Now, could you imagine if you had never done that? You would still be on those medications that all you did was change your diet, and then you don't have to feel like that's huge.
And I think the other huge thing that came out of the detox was sort of with that blank slate of now I'm off of everything and slowly adding some things back in just to see how my body reacts to it. I feel like now I have the ability to eat intuitively, because now my body, I can hear the messages and I know that they're real messages. They're not addiction messages. They're like hunger messages or thirst messages. And now I can finally do the intuitive eating that I knew was the right path, but I wasn't able to get there because I had the sugar addiction and the dairy addiction and all the addictions.
Right. Beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I think I love it. I'm so happy for you. I'm very happy for you. I really am. It is. It's huge. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Let's see. What other question? Let's see. So you had pretty much tangible results within like a week.
I couldn't believe it. Yes, absolute. My family noticed it. They're like, you're not walking around coughing and clearing your throat all the time. It was a big change. Yeah.
So what do you do? So what results have continued? Like you had shared something with me the other day. So what else do you want to share in terms of what results have continued?
Yeah. So
we did this reset, this kickstart. What's continuing for you?
So going into the detox, I had no expectation that I was going to continue doing anything after, right? Other than discovery, right? And I wasn't sure what I was going to discover. And based on how good I felt after the detox, I was like, why would I stop? I want to keep going. And so I got to the point where I think so I gained the motivation during and after the detox. I'm not saying the detox was easy. It was hard, but it got me to a place that was so worthwhile in the end. And so I continued it all. I'm gluten-free. I'm not completely dairy-free because, like I said, I do cheese, but I stay away from milk. I stay away from cow's milk yogurt. And
Mhm.
you know, don't do the caffeine or the alcohol. What else? Sugar. Sugar is the biggest one for me. Like I have such a sweet tooth. I love to
Mhm.
bake, but I don't get sugar cravings anymore. That was the
Mhm.
big thing. I was even when I was on diets, I would be fighting those sugar cravings. Even
Mhm.
when I did keto and I was doing like really low carb, those cravings never really went away. But so I don't know what the difference is here, but it is. I don't get the sugar cravings anymore.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's that has made it easy for me, and so I've
Right.
lost 15 pounds because
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe even more. I haven't been weighing myself, but I did have my annual physical. My doctor's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you lost 15 pounds." I was like, "That's awesome."
Oh, that's
When
amazing.
it's slow and steady is the right thing, right?
Right,
Like
right,
my body's
right,
just naturally kind of going
right,
to equilibrium
right. And
when
it's
being
more of like
positive.
your lifestyle now. It's not like,
Yes,
you
it's
know what
not
I
a diet.
mean?
This is
Right,
the way that I operate. Yeah.
right, right. So now if you were to do another detox, do you think it would be as hard as the first one?
No, I do
Right.
not think it would be hard at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. The first one, honestly, the first one is if depending on where you're coming from, is typically it's
Mhm.
just new. So
Right.
something new is always going to be harder. But like when you start to, the second time around, right? Because I
Mhm.
do them seasonally, it gets easier and easier
Right.
because you've made these changes
Right.
without you even realizing you've made these changes, and you're like, oh, I'm already doing that. So you bump it
Right.
up a notch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? You keep on bumping it up a notch, and then it's just like
exactly.
easy, right?
Yes.
I love it. So let me ask you this question. So you shared a lot of you had amazing tangible results. You
Mhm.
were, the acid reflux and the coughing and the weight loss and then more energy. So what were some of like things that were intangible in terms of just even like mind like mindset or
Oh, yeah.
feelings, emotions, that type of like
Yeah.
intangible things.
I mean, I think a lot of people probably feel the same way, like, when it's really demoralizing to try to lose weight and not be successful, and to, like, try really hard and then have it not work, and then you gain the weight back or more. Like, I've been through that for a long time now, and it's, you start to lose trust in yourself
Mm,
to accomplish things, like, and you start to think like, why me? Like, what makes me, I'm just different, like I just can't
right.
do it, other people can do it but not me. And I think the detox, like, that was the catalyst to change that in me. Now I see that it was it was not, I was fighting against something that was like unfightable, kind of. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, without doing what I did to get to the other side, I'd still be fighting that same
mm,
like sugar addiction. You know what I mean? Like, you
mm.
can't just like willpower your way out of that, is what
Right,
I realized.
right,
It
right.
wasn't my fault per se. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yep.
um, and so it's like it helped my confidence a bit. Um,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful. And that's important because a lot of people, if they're not confident, they're not going to take the action, the further action. So
right.
that's, you know,
Yeah.
beautiful. Um, we talked about your sustainable results. Um, So, okay. So if someone's on the fence about
Hmm.
actually doing this detox or a
Yeah.
detox, or well, I mean, like, there's so many different detoxes out there, but
Right.
I'm just going to speak specifically to my seasonal
Yep.
detoxes, right? So if someone's on the fence, they're not sure, what would you want to share with them?
I I would just tell them you can do anything for 2 weeks, that you're in really, really good hands. You're gonna learn so much about, like, it's not just, "Okay, we're gonna go do this detox, and now we go do it." It's like, this is why when you eat this is why we're eating these things and why we're
Mm-hmm.
not eating these other things. When it makes sense, you're more likely to do it and continue doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say that, um, you know, you what do I want to say? Like, this is the thing that's going to help you understand your body, because you need to understand your body to be able to make the changes necessary that you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking for like a weight loss, solution that's not the answer, because that doesn't teach you the things that you need to know to make the changes you need. Like the detox helps you with a blank slate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like total reset.
Right.
And I think that at least from my journey perspective, not having that reset, I wouldn't have been able to get
Mm-hmm.
to where I am. So,
Right.
and just like having an opportunity to really like listen to your body and understand it, what's happening, and make correlations between what you're eating and what you're feeling in your
Mm-hmm.
body.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really what the 2 weeks is about. Like
Yeah.
that, it's like a really great opportunity. It's
Yeah.
a really great opportunity. I wouldn't want people to pass that up.
Yeah. Did
Knowing
you?
me on the other side, how I
Right.
feel now.
Yeah. Did you expect to make that connection between what you were eating and how you were feeling and
No, honestly, Laura, like I've read nutrition books, like I felt like I knew a lot about
Yeah.
nutrition,
Yeah.
but I didn't, you know what I mean? Like once, you were teaching us about how the kidneys work and the different types of foods and then we went beyond just food, but um it really it clicked.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you delivered it in a way that I was like, oh, like I understood it in a totally different way than that anything that I had read before. Like, we
Awesome.
know like broccoli's great for you, but
Right.
like
Right.
why? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
what is it doing inside there? Like
Right.
that was huge for me.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. I love it. Okay. So, um, question. Okay. So this is an important one. So you're a financial person. And let's just talk about investing in yourself, investing in your health. So as the financial person, like if
Yeah.
someone, like um was concerned about investing, paying,
Hmm.
honestly, what's as the money woman here, what would you say? What would you share?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how closely related money issues are with health issues. And I mean, I like was kind of correlating it a little bit to like when we overspend at Target, for example, where it's kind of like eating too many M&Ms, you know what I mean? Like you're borrowing from tomorrow's money, you're borrowing from tomorrow's calories or what have you.
Mhm,
and
mhm,
and so I feel like the what if you sort of take the whole like detox concept and apply that to the money world.
mhm.
I think like people are really afraid, like the word budget in the financial world is like the word diet kind of, right?
Right.
And I think that um where to start from a financial perspective, if you feel like I don't have my money life in order, like I overspend, right? I live paycheck to paycheck or that type of thing, is the idea that we want to understand why we do the things that we do, and we want to understand and align our value system with our money, so that when we look at a credit card statement or when we look at our bank statement, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm spending on the things that matter to me, as opposed to all these random purchases that really don't have any meaning. And so that's one of the things that I like to do with people right at the beginning, is really to understand your why. What are
Mm,
you trying to accomplish? What are your values? What are your goals? So that we can look at the finances that you have and say, okay, how do we carve out, a path to your dreams?
mhm,
And that's not like a diet where you just starve yourself. The same thing with a budget, right? We don't want a budget that's going to make us so miserable that we can't sustain it, right? And so it's how do you do that balance of
mhm.
you know, meeting your, the obligations, right?
Mhm.
Rent, mortgage, car, transportation, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but also making room for the things that bring us joy too. And
Mhm.
I feel so strongly that there's a way to do that
Mhm.
because of my own journey, that's like my I feel very motivated to teach other people too, sort
Mhm.
of free them from um, just the money stress.
Mhm. Mhm. I love it. I love that. I love that comparison, and there's so the parallel between the two.
Hmm.
It's awesome. Is there anything else you want to share about the detox? Anything? I know you were in the metabolism jump starter.
Hmm.
Any anything, even anything, someone who wants to, right, is on a budget but wants to invest, tips,
Yeah.
suggestions, anything.
Yeah.
Anything that you really want to share
Yeah.
before we end.
Yeah, I think that, you if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. And that if you are going to invest in anything money-wise, that your health is a great place to start. And that is, one of the reasons why I really didn't blink an eye to do the detox is because my health was not good, and I really felt like desperate, like I needed something. And I think that from a money value perspective, you almost can't put a price on your health. I guess I kind of like looked at it, I've been taking I took omeprazole for a long time, and things like that. And I was kind of like resting on my laurels, so to speak, and
Mhm.
relying on that. And, when you like open your eyes to the world of wellness, you realize that that's like a band-aid. That's not a great band-aid for things, right? And if it's possible to fix things with food and our lifestyle, then that knowledge, that education is incredibly valuable. And that's what I learned from you. Like, I mean, just any of your courses, paid, free, whatever, like you bring it. This woman brings it. Like, you have so much experience and knowledge, and it's all from a place of love and support and wanting to help other women. And it just shines through in everything that you do. And I mean that so sincerely. So I feel like anything that you offer is just priceless. Priceless.
Thank
It's
you.
worth it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much for sharing. Again, it's brave to share about health, for other people, so, and you
Mhm.
are an inspiration to others. And I'm just, you know, thrilled in your results, because I never know. I don't know. I mean, I know, but I
Mhm.
don't know everyone,
Right.
so I'm just,
Yeah, I'm
I'm,
just so grateful to you for this because, I've been struggling with this since I had my daughter 10 years ago. I mean, even before that, I did weight loss things, what have you. So, like, I feel like I'm heading towards who I'm myself more, and,
mhm.
back to myself. And I'm so thankful for you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Lisa, can you share with everyone where they can find you again? Um,
Yes.
because
Um,
I love your approach to finances too.
yeah,
So,
sure.
please share with everybody where they can find you as well.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Lisa Walbridge Money, and I'm on Facebook too, but mainly on Instagram is where you can find me. And you could go
Awesome.
to lisawalbridgemoney.com as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you
Awesome.
so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you
Laura.
so much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Hi.